The Battle of Mustafar, a climactic lightsaber duel between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, who has turned to the dark side as Darth Vader, is one of the most significant moments in Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith. Taking place on the volcanic planet of Mustafar, this planet marks the final, tragic confrontation between the former Jedi Master and his apprentice. But one of the most tragic scenes from the entire saga becomes even more tragic once you know the truth behind this deleted scene. In the making of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith by J.W. Ritzler, several behind-the-scene details provide a deeper understanding of the characters and their intentions, especially during this climactic duel between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. One particular moment that was ultimately cut from the final film involves Anakin reaching out to Obi-Wan after being defeated. Anakin, in a moment of vulnerability, says, "Help me, Master." This line, recorded by Hayden Christensen, was muted in the final cut, but if you watch closely, you can see Anakin's mouth moving despite no sound being heard. Obi-Wan denies Anakin's plea, and immediately afterwards, Anakin's eyes shift to a Sith yellow as he declares his hatred for Obi-Wan, symbolizing his complete fall to the dark side. This moment is pivotal because it reveals Anakin's vulnerability and desperation. Despite his turn to the dark side, there remains a fragment of Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Knight who still seeks guidance and comfort from his mentor. This plea for help from Anakin highlights that his transformation into Darth Vader was not instantaneous, but rather a torturous journey filled with moments of doubt and internal conflict. It underscores that he is not entirely consumed by the dark side, and there's a part of him that desperately wants to be saved. This adds a tragic dimension to his character, illustrating that his descent into darkness is not simply a result of his choices, but also the failure of those around him to provide the support he needed. The fact that Hayden Christensen recorded this line, even though it was ultimately muted, shows the attention to convey this moment of vulnerability and the possibility of redemption that Anakin briefly sees in Obi-Wan. From Obi-Wan's perspective, this scene adds an immense emotional complexity. Watching his former apprentice, whom he regards as a brother, reach out in a moment of desperation must have been heart-wrenching. Obi-Wan's decision to deny Anakin's plea is not just a rejection, but a culmination of his internal struggle. He is torn between his duty to the Jedi Order and his personal feelings for Anakin. This moment signifies the final severance of their bond, as Obi-Wan accepts that Anakin is truly lost to the dark side. The emotional weight of this decision is profound, as it showcases Obi-Wan's sorrow and sense of failure. He must reconcile the fact that despite his deep love and hope for Anakin, he cannot save him. The symbolic transformation of Anakin's eyes to Sith yellow immediately after this rejection, coupled with his declaration of hatred for Obi-Wan, encapsulates his complete fall into darkness. This shift not only represents his physical transformation, but also his emotional and psychological break from his past. It highlights the irreversible nature of his turn to the dark side and the loss of Anakin Skywalker. Including this scene in the final film would have provided a more nuanced understanding of both character struggles. It would have emphasized the tragedy of Anakin's fall and emotional cost for Obi-Wan. This moment of Anakin reaching out for help and being denied adds a layer of tragic irony to the narrative, illustrating that both characters are victims of their circumstances and choices. Anakin's transformation into Darth Vader is shown not just as a personal failure, but also as a collective tragedy resulting from the loss of trust, hope, and support.